طيب. We ended by talking about the Hasan Hadith. And we said that the Hasan Hadith is the Hadith that has all of the conditions of acceptability, except that the condition of accuracy is less in the narrator. And before that, we talked about the Sahih Hadith at length. Then Ibn Hajar, rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, وَهَذَا حَيْثُ يَنْفَرِدُ الْوَصْفِ. All of what we said about the Hasan Hadith or the Sahih Hadith, this is when you're just calling this Hadith Sahih, or you're merely calling this Hadith Hasan. فَإِنْ جُمِعَا أي الصحيح والحسن في وصف واحد. But if they are merged, meaning Sahih and Hasan are both used for describing a single hadith simultaneously, كقول الترمذي وغيره حديث حسن صحيح, like what At-Tirmidhiyy and others said, this is a Hasan-Sahih hadith. So how's that? فَلِلتَّرَدُّدِ الْحَاصِلِ مِنَ الْمُجْتَهِدِ فِي النَّاقِلِ. That's due to uncertainty that the qualified scholar has concerning the reporter. هل اجتمعت فيه شروط الصحة أو قصر عنها? Have the conditions of authentic reporting gathered in this one reporter, or is he deficient in those conditions of authentic reporting? Is he merely a Hasan reporter? وهذا حيث يحصل منه التفرد بتلك الرواية. This would be the case when there's merely a single narration in question. So there's a single narration in question. There's a reporter for this narration. And then the qualified scholar who's trying to grade the hadith, he is indecisive about the status of this reporter. Is he an authentic reporter, or is he a fair reporter? So in that case, then the scholar would say, when he settles with his indecisiveness, he would say, Hadithun Hasanun Sahih. This is a Hasan Sahih hadith. So if we wanted to write that out, we could put a dash. Hasan Sahih. It's a Hasan Sahih hadith. وعرف بهذا جواب من استشكل الجمع بين الوصفين. And so by this, the answer for who finds this name problematic is known. Some would find this name problematic, Hasan Sahih. So there's an answer for the one who finds this problematic. But what's his argument in the first place, the one who finds this name problematic? فَقَالَ الْحَسَنُ قَاصِرٌ عَنِ الصَّحِيحِ. He says, his argument is, a fair hadith, a Hasan hadith, is deficient from reaching the level of Sahih. It's missing something that prevents it from reaching the level of being Sahih. If it's Hasan, ففي الجمع بين الوصفين إثبات لذلك القصور ونفيه. So by naming one hadith with both of these names, to say it's a Hasan Sahih hadith, then by calling it Hasan, it's like you're saying it's devoid of all of the requirements to be authentic. But then at the same time, you call this Sahih, which would mean you're saying it has all of the requirements of being authentic. So you've confirmed and denied this one thing at the same time by calling it a Hasan Sahih hadith. Ibn Hajar says, the one who deems this name problematic, by what we have explained, then the answer for this one becomes clear. ومحصل الجواب. The summary of the answer is أن تردد أئمة الحديث في حال ناقله اقتضى للمجتهد ألا يصفه بأحد الوصفين. Is that for the Imams of Hadith science to be uncertain about the situation of the reporter of this report, that uncertainty dictated for the qualified scholar to not describe this hadith with one of those two descriptions. فيقال فيه, so then instead it would be called حسن باعتبار وصفه عند قوم. It would be called a Hasan hadith, considering how some scholars would grade it. صحيح باعتبار وصفه عند قوم, and it would be a Sahih hadith according to how other scholars would grade it. And so that scholar would call that a Hasan-Sahih hadith. وغاية ما فيه أنه حذف منه حرف التردد. And the extent of what's there is that the extent of what's there is that the word that would express the hesitation is omitted. The word that would express that there's a hesitation on the part of the scholar is omitted. لأن حقه أن يقول حسن أو صحيح, because it should be called Hasan or Sahih hadith. This is a Hasan or Sahih hadith. So that word or promotes the hesitation of the scholar. وهذا كما حذف حرف العطف من الذي بعده. That's going to be like how the conjunction was also omitted from the case it's about to come. وعلى هذا فما قيل فيه حسن صحيح دون ما قيل فيه صحيح. So according to this, then, when a hadith is called Hasan Sahih, it is less than a hadith that is merely called Sahih. لأن الجزم أقوى من التردد, because when a single hadith is merely called Sahih, authentic, then that means he's sure. He's confident. So he's not wavering. And certainty, assurity, and confidence is stronger than indecisiveness and hesitation. So if you have one hadith that they called it Hasan Sahih, meaning it's Hasan or it's Sahih, and you have another hadith that they called it just Sahih only, then this one that's just merely called Sahih is stronger than the one that they called Hasan Sahih, because that means Hasan or Sahih. So since there's a hesitation in there, then it's weaker than the one without hesitation. وهذا حيث التفرد. This is when we are dealing with a single narration. A single narration about which they differed. وإلا, or else. إذا لم يحصل التفرد, if there wasn't a case of uniqueness in the report, meaning there's more than one narration, فإطلاق الوصفين معا على الحديث يكون باعتبار إسنادين. Then, if you're dealing with a report that has more than one route, and this report was called Hasan Sahih, then this is going to be by considering two chains of narration. أحدهما صحيح والآخر حسن. One of those two is a Sahih chain, and the other is a Hasan chain. وعلى هذا فما قيل فيه حسن صحيح فوق ما قيل فيه صحيح فقط. And so according to this, then if there were something called Hasan-Sahih, it is higher than what is merely called Sahih only. إذا كان فردا, when that one that's merely called Sahih is one single narration, and the other one that's called Hasan-Sahih is more than one narration, then in this case, the Hasan-Sahih is stronger, because now it means not Hasan or Sahih. Now it means Hasan and Sahih. Hasan and Sahih. Because we're talking about two chains, one that's Hasan and one that's Sahih. لأن كثرة الطرق تقوي, because multiplicity of chains makes the hadith stronger. فإن قيل, if it were said, قد صرح الترمذي بأن شرط الحسن أن يروى من غير وجه. Imam At-Tirmidhiyy, the one who's famous for saying Hasan-Sahih, he was explicit when he said that the condition of a Hasan hadith is that it's reported from more than one route. فكيف يقول في بعض الأحاديث حسن غريب لا نعرفه إلا من هذا الوجه. So how would At-Tirmidhiyy say about some hadiths, this hadith is Hasan, it's fair, and it's gharib, and it's unique, has only one route. لا نعرفه إلا من هذا الوجه. We only know this hadith from this route. So someone's saying, what's going on here? How would At-Tirmidhiyy define a Hasan hadith as being a hadith that has more than one route, and then turn around and say hadithun hasanun gharib? It's a Hasan hadith that has only one route. لا نعرفه إلا من هذا الوجه. We don't even know that it comes from any other way. This is the only way we know this hadith that's Hasan. So then where's the other version of the hadith according to you, O Tirmidhi? Ya Shaykh. فالجواب أن الترمذي لم يعرف الحسن مطلقا. The answer is that At-Tirmidhiyy, he didn't absolutely define the Hasan hadith. He didn't define the Hasan hadith absolutely in all cases with this definition. وإنما عرف نوعا خاصا منه وقع في كتابه. He merely defined a type of a particular type of Hasan hadith that exists in his book. So we see here Imam Ibn Hajar is taking the time to explain some of the words of Imam At-Tirmidhiyy. So this is hadith terminology. Why he's going to stop to talk about what one Imam said? Because all of this talk contributes to the field. All of this talk about how to define Hasan, how to define this or that, how some Imams named something like this and how some of them named something like that, all of that contributes to the hadith terminology science. So this talk of Imam At-Tirmidhiyy is significant enough to warrant its own section or subsection. And Imam At-Tirmidhiyy, he's a top master. So we want to see, what did this master, what was he saying? Yani, so from here you can know that some of those hadith scholars, yes, there did become a uniform terminology for hadiths, but some of them still had their own talk. So the scholars needed to, like what Ibn Hajar is doing now, needed to clarify that. So Ibn Hajar saying, At-Tirmidhiyy, when he said that, he wasn't defining the Hasan hadith mutlaqan, so don't misunderstand. وَإِنَّمَا عَرَّفَ نَوْعًا خَاصًا مِنْهُ وَقَعَ فِي كِتَابِهِ. He merely defined particular type of Hasan hadith that exists in his book. وَهُوَ مَا يَقُولُ فِيهِ حَسَنٌ من غير صفة أخرى. That's what At-Tirmidhiyy calls a Hasan hadith, but without anything else that goes with it. Just Hasan. So At-Tirmidhiyy said the condition of the Hasan is to be reported from more than one way. He's talking about something that he only calls it Hasan, not Hasan something else like Hasan-Sahih, Hasan Gharib, just Hasan. وذلك أنه يقول في بعض الأحاديث حسن. That's because for some hadiths At-Tirmidhiyy says Hasan وفي بعضها صحيح, and for some hadiths he'll say صحيح وفي بعضها غريب, and for some he'll say غريب means singular, unique. وفي بعضها حسن صحيح, and for some he'll say حسن صحيح. وفي بعضها حسن غريب, and for some he'll say حسن غريب. وفي بعضها صحيح غريب, and for some hadiths he'll say it's a صحيح غريب. وفي بعضها حسن صحيح غريب, and for some of his hadiths he'll say it's a حسن صحيح غريب hadith. وتعريفه إنما وقع على الأول فقط. And that definition of his, that's the question at hand, it applies only to the first one, the one that he merely calls Hasan. وعبارته ترشد إلى ذلك, and his expression guides to that. حيث قال في آخر كتابه, where he said in the end of his book, وما قلنا في كتابنا حديث حسن إنما أردنا به حسن إسناده عندنا. He said, what we have said in our book, Hasan, this is a hadith, a Hasan hadith, he's saying, when we said in our book, he's talking about himself. When I said in my book, Hasan hadith, I merely meant by it, but he's saying it with plural pronoun. We merely meant by it, he's talking about himself, that it has a fair chain, according to us. كل حديث يروى لا يكون راويه متهما بكذب ويروى من غير وجه نحو ذلك ولا يكون شاذا فهو عندنا حديث حسن. He said it's every hadith whose reporter is not suspect. He's not suspected of lying. And it is reported from more than one way, like that. And it's not irregular. This is a Hasan hadith according to us. So you should know that the Hasan hadith, what is it? How is it defined? The scholars had some back and forth about that in the early days until the terminology became uniform. And so the Hasan hadith is like what we have learned in our lessons. It's like a Sahih hadith, except for the reporter having less accuracy. But there are different definitions for Hasan hadith. Insha'Allah, if we finish this explanation of Nukhbat Al-Fikar, and then we go to the explanation of Al-Bayquniyah, we'll see some other wordings of some scholars. فعرف بهذا أنه إنما عرف الذي يقول فيه حسن فقط. So it's known by this that At-Tirmidhiyy was merely defining what he calls Hasan only, without any other description. أما ما يقول فيه حسن صحيح أو حسن غريب أو حسن صحيح غريب فلم يعرج على تعريفه. As for what At-Tirmidhiyy calls Hasan-Sahih or Hasan Gharib or Hasan Sahih Gharib, he didn't define those. كما لم يعرج على تعريف ما يقول فيه صحيح فقط. Just like he didn't define what he merely calls a Sahih hadith. أو غريب فقط. And he didn't define what he merely calls a Gharib hadith. وكأنه ترك ذلك استغناء لشهرته عند أهل الفن. It's as if he left that undefined because it is famous to the people of the field. واقتصر على تعريف ما يقول فيه في كتابه حسن فقط، إما لغموضه وإما لأنه اصطلاح جديد. And he did define what he calls in his book a Hasan Hadith. He limited himself to defining that one in particular, either because there's something obscure about it, so he wanted to clarify it, or because it's a new terminology, yani, a personal terminology. It's his own terminology, so he wanted to make sure that it's understood for the reader what he means. وَلِذَلِكَ قَيَّدَهُ بِقَوْلِهِ عِنْدَنَا. And that's why he said, according to us, he means himself. وَلَمْ يَنْسُبْهُ إِلَى أَهْلِ الْحَدِيثِ. And he didn't attribute that to the people of hadith in general. He didn't say, this is the Hasan Hadith according to the scholars of the field. كما فعل الخطابي. كما فعل الخطابي. Like what Al-Khattabi did. وبهذا التقرير يندفع كثير من الإيرادات التي طال البحث فيها. And by this clarification, by this exactness and clarification, by this elaboration here that's been documented here in this explanation of Nukhbah, there's answers for, or there is the answer for many criticisms for which there has been long discussion about this. وَلَمْ يُسْفِرْ وَجْهُ تَوْجِيهِهَا. There's been lots of criticisms and long discussion about this that hasn't been settled, hasn't been clearly clarified. فَلِلَّهِ الْحَمْدُ عَلَى مَا أَلْهَمَ وَعَلَّمَ. So praise be to Allah for that which He inspires, and praise be to Allah for the knowledge that He imparts on whomever He wills. Ibn Hajar is saying, I'm the one who figured this out. Praise Allah, praise God. I'm not boasting. I'm the one who figured this out and just broke this down for you and explained it for you like nobody else did. So praise God who inspires whomever He wills and imparts knowledge on whomever He wills. So now Ibn Hajar wants to go into a new subject. Ibn Hajar wants to start a new issue. He wants to talk now about, what about if one report, one hadith, one version of a hadith has something, and then another version of the hadith has something extra in it that's not in the first version? How do we handle that? That's what he's going to talk about now. So let's stop here, although it's a short lesson, and we'll save that next topic so we can take it fresh, inshallah ta'ala.